Right now, almost 1 billion miles from the sun, a tiny moon is losing part of its ocean to space. Not a few drops. Enceladus is ejecting roughly 100 kilograms of water vapor and ice every second. That is more than 8,000 metric tons every day. More than 3 million tons every year. The material is blasted through enormous fractures at nearly 800 miles per hour. This moon should be bleeding itself dry. Instead, it keeps erupting. And hidden inside that frozen spray, NASA found salts, hydrogen, methane, phosphorus, and complex organic chemistry. If something is alive beneath the ice, we may already have flown through its breath. Enceladus should be a geological corpse. It is only about 310 miles wide, small enough to fit inside Arizona. Its surface temperature falls to around minus 201 degrees Celsius, cold enough to turn exposed water into solid ice almost instantly. There is no breathable atmosphere, no wind, no weather, no sound. From a distance, Enceladus looks like a perfect white sphere suspended beside Saturn, clean, silent, and completely dead. But its south pole is broken open. When NASA's Cassini spacecraft examined the region, it discovered 4 enormous parallel fractures cutting across the ice. Scientists named them the tiger stripes. Some stretch for roughly 80 miles. Their valleys can descend more than 1,600 feet into the surface. These are not tiny cracks. On Earth, they would look like continental wounds. Now imagine standing beside one of them. Saturn would fill an enormous part of the black sky, appearing roughly 50 times wider than the full moon appears from Earth. Under your boots, the surface would be brighter than fresh snow. Ahead of you, a dark blue fracture would split the frozen landscape from horizon to horizon. The ground might be moving beneath you, but you would hear nothing. Then, without warning, the wound would erupt. A towering jet of water vapor, ice crystals, gas, and organic material would explode into the vacuum. There would be no roar, no thunder, only a silent white column climbing hundreds of miles above the surface. Some of the ice would fall back like frozen snow, slowly burying the landscape beneath fresh crystals. But some would escape the moon completely. Those particles spread around Saturn and help create its enormous E-ring. In other words, part of Saturn's beautiful ring system is made from an ocean leaking out of a wounded moon. And the scale of that leak became even more disturbing in 2023. The James Webb Space Telescope detected a water vapor plume extending more than 6,000 miles into space, over 20 times the diameter of Enceladus itself. Imagine a human body producing a breath 20 times larger than the body, or a frozen world projecting a ghostly white shadow more than twice the width of the continental United States. Enceladus is not simply leaking. It is broadcasting its interior across the Saturn system. But this creates an impossible question. Where is all that water coming from? In 2005, Cassini flew through the plume. For the first time in history, a spacecraft sampled material from an extraterrestrial ocean without landing, drilling, or even touching the surface. During one close encounter, freshly ejected ice grains slammed into Cassini's detector at nearly 64,000 kilometers per hour. The grains vaporized on impact, briefly exposing the chemicals trapped inside them, and the results transformed Enceladus from an interesting moon into one of the most important worlds in the search for alien life. Cassini detected salty water, carbon dioxide, ammonia, methane, molecular hydrogen, organic compounds, and later analysis revealed phosphates, forms of phosphorus used by life on Earth to build DNA, cell membranes, and systems for storing energy. This does not prove that life exists there, but it reveals something almost as unsettling. The ocean appears to possess much of the chemical inventory life would need. The salt was especially important. Salt-rich ice grains could not easily be explained by ordinary surface frost. They indicated liquid water touching and reacting with rock somewhere deep inside the moon. Further measurements revealed the truth. Beneath the frozen crust lies a global saltwater ocean wrapped around Enceladus's rocky core. A dark sea hidden beneath miles of ice. An ocean that has never seen the sun. But how can such a small world prevent that ocean from freezing solid? The answer is a gravitational torture machine. Enceladus completes an orbit around Saturn every 32.9 hours. It is also locked in an orbital resonance with the larger moon Dione. As the moons repeatedly align, there, gravity slightly changes Enceladus's orbit. Saturn then squeezes and stretches the moon over and over again. Imagine bending a metal paperclip until it becomes hot. Now imagine that process happening to an entire world. The ice shell flexes. The fractures open and close. The rocky interior is kneaded by gravity, and friction becomes heat. For decades, scientists believed most of that heat was concentrated near the violent South Pole. But a 2025 study estimated that the northern polar region may also be releasing around 1.7 gigawatts of internal heat. The moon may not have one isolated fever. Its entire interior may still be warm. And the most frightening, environment may exist at the bottom of the ocean. Scientists found microscopic silica grains in Enceladus's plume. Producing grains like these likely requires liquid water to interact with rock at temperatures above 90 degrees Celsius. Think about that contrast. The surface is colder than minus 200 degrees, yet far below it, hot mineral-rich water may be circulating through a porous rocky core. Hydrothermal vents could be rising from the seabed like chimneys in an endless black ocean. On Earth, environments like these are crowded with life. Sunlight never reaches them. Plants cannot grow there. Yet microbes survive by using chemical energy. Other organisms gather around them, forming complete ecosystems in total darkness. That is why Enceladus is so difficult to dismiss. It has liquid water. It has heat. It has chemical energy. It has salts and minerals. It has organic molecules. And it may have remained active long enough for chemistry to cross the invisible boundary into biology. In 2025, researchers re-examined extremely fresh ice grains collected directly from the plume. They found previously unseen classes of organic compounds, including molecules involved in chemical pathways that can eventually lead toward more biologically important material. Again, these molecules are not life. A lifeless ocean can produce complicated chemistry, but every new discovery makes the same question harder to escape. What is this ocean trying to become? Now imagine descending beneath the ice. Above you is a frozen ceiling several miles thick. Below you is a rocky seabed covered in mineral towers. There has never been a sunrise. There has never been a wave beneath an open sky. Only darkness, crushing water, tidal currents, and heat rising from the core. Perhaps nothing moves there. Perhaps Enceladus contains only a sterile chemical ocean that has been assembling and destroying organic molecules for millions of years. But perhaps microscopic organisms cling to the warm rocks. They might consume hydrogen and carbon dioxide. They might release methane. They might divide, evolve, and die without ever knowing that Saturn exists above them. No glowing monsters, no underwater cities, no intelligent creatures staring through the ice. Just one invisible cell would be enough. Because if life began independently on both Earth and Enceladus, then biology may not be an impossible cosmic accident. It may begin wherever water, energy, rock, and time are allowed to meet, and the Milky Way may contain countless frozen moons, each hiding an ocean beneath a silent shell. The darkness between the stars may not be empty. It may be where most life is hiding. The most extraordinary part is that we may not need to drill through the ice to learn the truth. Enceladus is already delivering samples. A future spacecraft could repeatedly fly through the plume and search for unusual amino acid patterns, cell-like structures, biological lipids, or chemical signatures that lightless geology struggles to explain. Every 33 hours, Enceladus circles Saturn again. Its frozen wounds flex open. Thousands of tons of ocean are thrown into space. And somewhere inside that spray may be the first evidence that Earth's greatest miracle is never ours alone. Enceladus is not asking humanity to dig. It is bleeding the answer into space. If you want to explore more terrifying mysteries and impossible worlds hiding in the universe, subscribe to Cosmic Theory Lab and join us on a next journey into the unknown.